Every morning, before the day even begins, millions of people wake up and follow the exact same routine they've followed for years. It feels normal. It feels harmless. In fact, it feels healthy. A warm drink, a familiar habit, something that helps you feel awake, ready, in control. But what if I told you that one simple thing you're doing within the first 10 minutes of waking up could be quietly putting stress on one of the most important organs in your body? And if you're over 60, that effect becomes even more serious. Because your body changes with age, what it tolerated in your 30s, what it handled easily in your 40s, it doesn't respond the same way anymore. I'm Dr. Eric Shaw, and after years of working with patients over the age of 60, I've seen a pattern that shows up again and again. People come in feeling fine, no pain, no clear symptoms, nothing alarming. But when we look at their kidney function, something isn't right. Numbers slowly rising, function slowly declining. And when we trace it back, when we really look closely at their daily habits, it often leads to something they do every single morning, without fail, without question. A habit they believe is helping them, not hurting them. Just recently, I spoke with a patient, a 68-year-old man, disciplined, consistent, the kind of person who takes pride in his routine. He woke up at the same time every day, took care of himself, avoided obvious unhealthy behaviors, and every morning, the first thing he did, before food, before water, before anything else, he drank a strong cup of coffee, black, hot, immediate. He told me, "Doctor, it wakes me up. I've been doing this for years. It's part of my routine." And on the surface, that seems harmless. Coffee is common. Millions of people drink it. Some studies even suggest benefits. So what's the problem? The problem is not just the coffee. It's the timing. It's what your body is going through in that exact moment when you wake up. You see, when you sleep, your body goes for hours without water. 6, 7, sometimes 8 hours. During that time, your body continues to function. Your kidneys are still filtering your blood, your system is still working. But you're not replenishing fluids, which means by the time you wake up, your body is already slightly dehydrated, and your kidneys are already under mild stress. Now imagine what happens when the very first thing you introduce into that system is not water, but a stimulant. Coffee increases alertness. That's why people love it. But it also increases certain stress hormones in your body. It signals your system to wake up fast. And it has a mild diuretic effect, meaning it can increase fluid loss. So instead of gently supporting your body after hours of rest, you're pushing it. I explain it to my patients like this. Imagine your body is like an engine that's been sitting overnight. When you wake up, that engine needs lubrication. It needs fluid. It needs a smooth start. But instead, you're stepping on the gas immediately without giving it what it needs first. And over time, that matters, because your kidneys are part of that system. They rely on proper hydration to filter waste efficiently. They rely on balance. And when that balance is disrupted, day after day, year after year, the effect builds, quietly, gradually, almost invisibly. Most people don't feel it happening. There's no immediate pain, no warning that forces you to stop. And that's exactly why it's dangerous, because it continues, unchecked. Now, I want to be very clear. This is not about fear. This is about awareness. Because once you understand what's happening, you can change it. And that change doesn't require something complicated. It starts with something simple. Before you reach for that coffee, before you start your day the way you always have, pause. Give your body what it actually needs first. Water. 1, maybe 2 glasses. Nothing extreme, nothing difficult. Just enough to rehydrate your system after hours of rest. Because when you do that, you're supporting your kidneys. You're giving them what they need to function properly. And only then, if you still want that coffee, have it. But now your body is prepared. Now your system is balanced, and that one small shift can make a meaningful difference over time. Now, let me ask you something honestly. How many of you wake up and go straight to coffee? No water, no pause, just straight into that routine. If that's you, I want you to acknowledge it, because awareness is the first step. Type yes in the comments if this is your routine, not because there's anything wrong with you, but because recognizing a habit is how you begin to change it. And if you're finding this helpful, if this is making you think differently about something you've done for years, take 1 second and press the like button, because this information needs to reach more people who are doing the same thing without realizing what it means. Now here's where it gets even more important, because coffee on an empty, dehydrated system is only part of the problem. There's another mistake that often happens at the exact same time, and it quietly adds even more pressure on your kidneys, and most people don't even think about it. Let's continue. Now here's where it becomes even more important, because what we just talked about is only part of the picture. That morning cup of coffee on an empty, dehydrated system, that's the habit that starts the chain. But what most people don't realize is that it rarely comes alone. It's usually paired with other small decisions, things that feel completely normal, that quietly add more and more pressure on your kidneys over time. And when those things combine, day after day, that's when the damage begins to build. Let's talk about the next piece of this. Because right after that first drink of coffee, many people move straight into their morning medications. Blood pressure pills, pain relievers, supplements, daily prescriptions. They take them quickly, often with just a sip of liquid, or sometimes even with coffee itself. It feels efficient. It feels like you're staying on track. But here's what's happening inside your body. After hours of sleep, your system is already slightly dehydrated. Your kidneys are working with less fluid than they need. And then, suddenly, they're asked to process medications. Your kidneys are responsible for filtering many of these substances out of your bloodstream. That's part of their job. But when there isn't enough water in your system, that job becomes harder. I explain it like this. Imagine trying to flush something through a filter without enough water moving through it. Everything becomes thicker, slower, more difficult to process. That's what your kidneys are dealing with. And when this happens repeatedly, every morning, over months and years, it creates strain. Not instantly, not in a way you feel right away, but gradually, silently. And that's the pattern you need to understand. Kidney stress doesn't usually show up as sudden pain. It shows up as slow changes, small declines, numbers that shift just a little at a time, until one day, those changes become significant. So if you're taking medications in the morning, make one simple adjustment. Pair them with water, a full glass, not a sip, not coffee, water. Give your kidneys what they need to do their job properly. Now let's move to another habit that often follows right after, and this one surprises a lot of people. Skipping breakfast, or going straight into a high-sugar, high-salt meal. Some people wake up and say, "I'm not hungry, I'll eat later." Others go for something quick and convenient. Processed foods, packaged items, foods that are easy but loaded with sodium or sugar. And again, it feels normal. But your body has just come out of a long fasting period. Your system is sensitive. Your blood sugar levels are adjusting, and your kidneys are still working to maintain balance. So when you suddenly introduce a spike, whether it's from sugar or excessive salt, it creates a surge your body has to manage. Salt, in particular, has a direct effect on your kidneys. It influences how much water your body retains. It affects blood pressure. And your kidneys play a major role in regulating both. I tell my patients to think of it like this. Your kidneys are like a balancing system. They're constantly adjusting levels, filtering out excess, maintaining stability. But when you overload that system early in the day, you're forcing it to work harder, sooner, without the support it needs. And when that happens consistently, the strain accumulates. Now, this doesn't mean you need to follow a strict or complicated diet. It means being aware, choosing something balanced, something that doesn't spike your system immediately. Even a light breakfast, something simple, can help stabilize your body after waking. Because what you do in those first 30 to 60 minutes sets the tone for everything that follows. Now, I want to take a step back for a moment, because all of these habits, coffee on an empty stomach, taking medications without proper hydration, skipping or spiking your breakfast, they may seem small. Individually, they don't feel dangerous. But together, they create a pattern of stress, a pattern of imbalance. And your kidneys are right in the middle of that pattern, working continuously, filtering your blood every second, adjusting fluids, managing waste, keeping your system stable. And they do this quietly, without asking for attention, without giving you obvious warning signs until much later. That's the part most people don't realize. Kidney damage is often silent. You don't feel it in the early stages. There's no alarm, no sudden signal that forces you to stop and pay attention. Which is why so many people are surprised when they finally see it in their lab results. Not because it happened overnight, but because it's been building slowly, and the habits that contribute to it are the ones they've been repeating every morning. Now here's the good news. This is where things can change, because these habits are not fixed. They're not permanent. They're choices. And small changes in those choices can make a significant difference over time. So let me give you a simple routine, something practical, something you can actually follow. Tomorrow morning, when you wake up, before anything else, drink water. 1 or 2 glasses. Give your body what it's been without for hours. Then, give yourself a few minutes. Move a little, nothing intense, just enough to wake your system up gently. Then, if you take medications, take them with water. Support your kidneys as they process them. Then, have something light to eat, something balanced. And only after that, if you still want your coffee, have it. But now your body is ready. Now your system is supported. Now your kidneys are not being pushed all at once without preparation. This is not about removing everything you enjoy. It's about changing the order. Because sometimes the difference between stress and support is simply timing. Now I want you to think about your own routine, not in a general way, but specifically. What do you do in the first 10 minutes after waking up? What's the first thing you reach for? Because that moment is where this starts. And if you recognize yourself in what we've talked about, if this sounds familiar, then you have an opportunity, right now, to change it. Not next week, not eventually, but tomorrow morning. Because the earlier you make that adjustment, the more you reduce the long-term impact. And that's what matters. Your kidneys are working for you every single day, every hour, every minute. You don't think about them, you don't feel them, but they are always there, keeping your body in balance. And protecting them doesn't require something complicated. It requires awareness, consistency, and small intentional choices. So tomorrow morning, start differently. Give your body what it needs first. Support your system before you stimulate it. And over time, that one change can protect your kidneys in ways you may never fully see, but your body will feel. If this helped you, share it with someone who needs to hear it, because many people are following the same routine without realizing what it's doing. And if you want more guidance like this, subscribe, because I share what I see every day, the patterns most people miss, until it's too late. I'm Dr. Eric Shaw. Stay aware, stay proactive, and take care of your body, because the smallest habits often make the biggest difference.